In this video about poncho shelters, we're going to take a look at several different versions of the Fly, which is a shelter made for shade. Let's start with the most basic configuration. You'll need a ridgeline, 2 poles, 2 guylines, and 2 stakes. It doesn't matter if you set this up lengthwise or widthwise, you'll still get the same structure. Attach 2 corners of the same side of the tarp to the ridgeline, and on the opposing side, attach the pole and guyline to either corner. To set this up with poles, you'll need 4 poles, 4 guylines, and 4 stakes. I set up this structure like I would tighten the lug nuts on a tire, going from opposite corner to corner. Let's take a look at the dining fly, which is basically an A-frame on stilts. This is another shelter that can be set up length or widthwise. To set this up, you'll need a ridgeline, 4 guylines, and 4 stakes. Attach the tarp to the ridgeline and then run out the guylines from the 4 corners. If you wish to set this up with poles, all you will need is 2 poles, 6 guylines, and 6 stakes. I start by spreading out the tarp on the ground and then loosely staking down the 4 corners using guylines. Then I decide how I'd like to set up the peak and add the center pole with guylines. The diamond fly is the next on the list. You can stake it straight to the ground or use guylines to spread it out. You'll need a ridgeline, 2 stakes, and 2 guylines. Attach the tarp to the ridgeline diagonally, and then stake down the 2 other corners. If you're setting this up with poles, stake down 2 opposite corners first, then attach poles to the remaining 2 corners. I call the last shelter the Superfly. To set it up, you'll need a ridgeline, 2 poles, 6 guylines, and 6 stakes. Attach the center of the tarp to the ridgeline, add poles to the other sides, attach guylines to the 4 corners, and run out the lines. To set this up with poles, you'll need 4 poles, 8 guylines, and 8 stakes. Spread the tarp flat on the ground and loosely stake down the 4 corners. Then add poles to the inside center points of the tarp and stake down the poles' guylines. Well folks, that's all for another video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have, please hit that like and subscribe button. Feel free to leave any questions or comments if you have any. Until next time, hope to see you all on the trail.